Good morning, students. Today we'll start section 4 of integral equations, and our topic is singular integral equations. So first of all, we define what is singular integral equation. An integral equation is said to be singular if either the range of integration is infinite or the kernel has singularities within the range of integration. For example, we take the integral equation fs is equal to integral 0 to s gt divided by s minus t whole raised to the power alpha. Here this alpha lies between 0 and 1. In this integral equation, the function g is unknown function and the function f, that is a known function. This integral equation is called Abel's integral equation, and this integral equation, that is a singular integral equation. Now we will solve this integral equation. So our first topic is the solution of Abel's singular integral equation. As we defined, the Abel's integral equation is given by fs is equal to integral 0 to s gt divided by s minus t whole raised to the power alpha, and this integration is with respect to t. Here alpha lies between 0 and 1. Function g is unknown, function f is known. To solve this equation, let us multiply both sides of this equation by 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha, and we integrate with respect to s between the limits 0 to u. So here multiplying by 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha and integration from 0 to u, and on the right side the integral becomes integral 0 to u 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha into integral 0 to s gt upon s minus t whole raised to the power alpha. This integration is with respect to t and this integration is with respect to s. Now we can see that in this equation second, the integral on the right hand side is such that here the first integration is with respect to t between the limits 0 to s, and then the resulting integral is to be integrated with respect to s between the limits 0 to u, and we can see that the region of integration, that is the triangle lying below the line s is equal to t. Here this is s axis, this is t axis, this is a line s is equal to t, and this is the region of integration. Now in the integral under consideration, this area AOB, this is divided into the strips which are parallel to t axis, this kind of strips. Here one of the strips we have shown, this is the strip PQ. Now we will change the order of integration such that our first integration is in the s direction and then the resulting integral is to be integrated in the t direction. So let us change the order of integration, and this can be done by dividing this area into the strips parallel to s axis, this kind of strips which are horizontal strips. One such strip we have shown p dash q dash. So after changing the order of integration, the limits of s are s is equal to t to s is equal to u, and the limits of t are t is equal to 0 to t is equal to u. Now after changing the order of integration, our equation second becomes integral 0 to u fs upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha ds is equal to, now here our first integration is from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to u. gt integral s is equal to t to s is equal to u 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha into s minus t raised to the power alpha, and this integration is with respect to s. Now let us consider this integral and simplify this integral. So consider the integral s is equal to t to s is equal to u 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha into s minus t raised to the power alpha. Now in order to solve this integral, let us make a substitution. Y is equal to u minus s upon u minus t. Now by cross multiplication from here we get y into u minus t is equal to u minus s. From here we can find the value of s, which is given by u minus t into y. Now differentiating we get ds is equal to, its derivative will be 0. This is constant. Derivative of y will be dy. So we get ds is equal to minus u minus t into dy. Now when the value of s is t, when s is equal to t here, this will become 1, and when s is equal to u, putting here s is equal to u, y will become 0. So our limits of integration are 1 and 0 now. So the integral becomes integral from s is equal to t to s is equal to u 1 upon u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha into s minus t raised to the power alpha is equal to, substituting the values which we have used, the value of ds, the value of y, and the limits of integration. The limits of integration are 0 to 1, and the integrand is y raised to the power alpha minus 1 into 1 minus y raised to the power minus alpha. Now as we know by definition, beta function, which is a function of m and n, this is defined by integral 0 to 1 x raised to the power m minus 1 into 1 minus x raised to the power n minus 1 dx. Now comparing this integral with the definition of beta function, here our m and n are alpha and 1 minus alpha. So this integral will become beta of alpha and 1 minus alpha. Now by the properties, the relation between beta and gamma functions are given by beta mn is equal to gamma m into gamma n divided by gamma of m plus n. So using this formula here, this is m, this is n, so this will become gamma of alpha into gamma of 1 minus alpha divided by gamma of their sum, that is 1. Gamma of 1 is 1, so this will become gamma of alpha into gamma of 1 minus alpha. Now you already have learned the result in the complex analysis, the product of these two functions, that is given by pi upon sine alpha pi. So now substituting this value in the equation number 3, we get sine alpha pi upon pi integral 0 to u fs divided by u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha ds is equal to integral 0 to u gt dt. Now let us differentiate both sides with respect to u. Here this is constant and its derivative with respect to u, that is d by du integral 0 to u fs divided by u minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha. On the right side we can use Leibniz rule of differentiation under integral sign. By using that rule, if we differentiate this integral with respect to u, this gives us g of u. Now we have to find the solution in terms of t, so we can replace u by t. So replacing u by t, this will become gt, and this side will become sine alpha pi upon pi d by dt integral 0 to t fs divided by t minus s raised to the power 1 minus alpha, which is the required solution of Abel's singular integral equation. So this completes your first article.